live from my apartment. It's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's a man whose heart was touched by the greatest showmance in the history of Big Brother, David and Danya. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Thursday night recap of Big Brother 19. And we've got a fun show here tonight as we said goodbye to one half of Jody for the second time this season. No halting hex to be used tonight as Jessica went out of the house. And here to break it all down with me, we have a great guest from Big Brother 15. Please welcome back to the podcast, the great Spencer Clawson. Spencer, how are you?
Good. Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and Spencer, happy to have you here tonight to talk about everything that's going on. And of course, a man who does not stop talking about Big Brother. Here is Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm so pumped. There's no jury buyback for the first time since before this guy played on Big Brother.
Wow, how about that?
So happy.
Okay. Why did Julie say that to the house?
Because at this point, it is legitimately a twist that they're not having that twist.
Mm-hmm. But isn't it expect the unexpected? It's not just expect what we'll tell you to expect.
I don't know.
All right. That being said, a lot to do here tonight. Hashtag RHAP to get your questions into the show as we discuss everything going on with Jessica going out of the house, Alex as your new HOH, and what the prospects are for Cody moving forward here tonight on the live show. I thought we had a really fun show last night with Cameron Hurd, the first person out from this season. Thought he was really fun on the podcast I did last night with him and Brent. If you want to check that out on robasawebsite.com. Great to hear Cameron's story, even if you already watched tonight's episode. And even though we've moved on, a lot of fun stuff from our conversation with Cameron as we move forward 1 week to the double eviction. All right. So, Spencer, first off, what's going on with you? What are you up to?
Man, not much, dude. Just living the life. I actually, this past week has really been damn good for me, Rob, and I'm glad that I can share this with you, Taran, Scott, all the listeners. I want everybody to hear this. I actually paid off my mortgage.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So for the past 2 years, basically, I've been working like 2 jobs and putting that money back, and I paid off my house, so I am mortgage free.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
did you have a
that's just what?
Did you have a philosophy on how you were able to pull that off?
No, I mean, no philosophy, just, stack cash and pay it off. So that's kind of a goal we set a few years ago, and just really just kind of stuck to it. We really do our budget very well. You can't see it, and I'd mess up my camera, but anyway, I got see those up there. That's don't try to stare. Don't want nobody screenshot that and look into it. Zoom in. That's our bills. We keep our bills very. I shouldn't have showed that. Now I was going to tease that this is a green screen, or I'm on the set of a production of Hoarders I'm working on. But anyway, no, like we just kind of kept our budget tight and watched going out to eat and things like that. I'm not going to go to Amanda Zuckerman's wedding because that would be a snooze fest. So I put that money right towards the mortgage, and life is good now.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That is a great milestone. And now you're playing with house money, literally.
That's exactly right. So
that's right.
Next September 1st, when that mortgage payment would have come around, I'm just gonna take it to the casino.
Boom. Yeah. Just keep putting it on. Yeah. Put it on
black, baby.
Month. You're right. And let's see what happens. All right. So anyway, speaking of the house, let's get into Big Brother. Awkward transition. And Jessica ended up finally going out this week. Spencer, just we haven't talked to you this season. What's been your reaction to Jess and Cody? Have you been sympathetic to them, or have you been frustrated with them?
No, I'm kind of on the fence, honestly, because there's a part of Cody that I really like. I mean, he honestly seems like you take him out in the environment, he'll be like a good stand-up dude. I mean, the guy obviously was, fought in the military. I'm not really one of those thank you for your service fucking things everybody says to people, because I think that's, half-hearted when people say that. But I think that Cody's a pretty good dude. Jessica, I don't know. She gives me a little bit of a Natalie vibe, so like I kind of
Natalie BB 18.
Yeah. So like I think there's just some kind of phoniness there probably. Even though, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I got some genuine ness out of her. But no, I thought Cody was a terrible game player. I thought Jessica was a terrible game player. She was on to things. She had some good instincts, but like she never could like really figure out how to turn those into game. And so I don't know. I'm not upset to see her out.
One of the things I really resented tonight was there was a lot of talk about Jessica. You just threw away $500,000 for Cody. You threw it all away for a guy. Was Jessica going to win this game, Spencer?
No, Jessica, I don't think she was not cast to win this game. She got on the show because she's gorgeous. So, I mean, she looks good in a tight dress, and boom, that's kind of like half the recipe for a Big Brother cast. So, but no, she was never going to win the game. I mean, it's just like Kevin. Like, we love Kevin, but like honestly, is Kevin going to be anybody's favorite player of all time, or like some like fantastic winner? No, like he's got third place written all over him. But
right,
I mean,
you shut up, Spencer. You
shut
shut
up
up
about
about
wrong
Kevin.
with third place, Spencer. We share that. But in terms of Kevin, I actually thought that tonight was a really good night for Kevin in terms of at least his edit. I walked away from tonight's episode feeling like that Kevin is the one person that I think is almost unanimously, has the highest approval rating in the house, Taran.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I mean, his plan was an utter failure. And I do think the edit, got that across, but he was like the only person that was nice to Jessica and Cody as like the underdogs. And we did see some kind of gameplay from him, which is kind of breaking character, at least for that kind of archetype. So I think a lot of people came away from this episode thinking, you know what, now that Jessica's gone and Cody's probably on his way out, Kevin is our new savior.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, Taran, will you answer this for me? Does anybody see Kevin as any more than just a fun, goofy old man? I mean, is anybody going to be like, Kevin really had something he brought to the table? I mean, is that really happening?
I think that there's definitely some rumblings of that. They are concerned about Kevin. Alex has been concerned about Kevin for a long time because of the whole Hinky vote stuff. They see him walking around the house and making deals. They know that he's smarter than he's letting on. However, there is still a sentiment in there, and Elena has expressed this, that he is just kind of the sweet older guy that's probably not doing much. So I think there's a bit of back and forth there. I know that Paul really respects Kevin's game, and that's pretty huge, I think. If Kevin ends up in the end and Paul's in the jury, I think Paul will say, no, guys, look, Kevin was actually playing the whole time. You just didn't see it.
Okay, Spencer. So there's been so much talk this season about Paul's dominance, and Paul's going to steamroll, and certainly with Alex winning the HOH this week, it looks like it should be on paper an easy week for Paul. And I think that what people are hoping for the most part, from what I read and see on social media, is that people are hoping for maybe some exterminators type group to get together around the time that you guys got together in Big Brother 15 to knock Paul out of the game. Do you think this season is on that trajectory?
I think that Paul would be, if they have a second double eviction, I think Paul would be a great person to get out then, which that would be kind of at that point in the game. Rob, this is kind of what I'm worried about. I think that Paul has aligned himself with the gamers in the house. Okay. I don't know that I don't know if that's really a good thing for him, because they will kind of get the end part and be like, we have to get rid of Paul. I think that Paul would. I don't know. It's really kind of hard to answer that, because the people left in the house, I don't really see them as particular gamers. I don't think that Mark and Elena and Matt and Raven, I don't see them as people that if they get to a certain point, they will be there for a vote. But I don't know if they're going to have the wherewithal or the forethought to have that idea to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. As a Big Brother veteran, are you pulling for Paul to pull this off, or are you hoping for these underdogs to get together?
Man, I always root for a good game. I'm not a Paul hater. I noticed that a lot of former house guests are. I don't know if that's just drinking the old haterade, or do people still say that? I don't know. I'm bringing it back. I do now. Bringing it back. But I think they're just kind of hating on the guy because he is getting in there. He's playing a good game. He does not have the most motivated game players. So there are people that are wanting to make their stipend and stay in the house till jury. playing. He's working it. So I mean, I'm all for him until somebody shows up with a better game. Then let's just let him keep doing it. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I know that this is for entertainment. People like it for the TV show and that kind of thing. But I see this as social Olympics, and right now Paul's wearing all the gold medals. So we'll just if he keep him around his neck, good for him.
Taran, have you seen that in the Big Brother alumni community? Do you feel like that there is a lot of anti-Paul sentiment?
Yeah, I think that the majority of people are against Paul at this point, especially after the events that transpired a week or so ago, where they all kind of ganged up on Jess and Cody. That seemed to be the turning point where everyone was firmly against Paul, even though they had already kind of started to drift that way. I would say most of the alumni were on the Jess and Cody side.
Interesting, because I feel like that during certainly during Big Brother OTT, I feel like that most of the alumni were supportive of Jason in the house. It feels weird to me that the alumni would turn on Paul.
Well, I think that's because most of the alumni didn't watch Big Brother OTT.
That's the difference. That's the difference. Yeah. Taran, were you wearing that shirt before?
Yeah, of course. What are you talking about? I'm a magical creature. Sometimes things shift, my clothes change. Maybe there'll be a quiz afterward. Who knows?
Who knows? Spencer, let's talk about the big fight that we had seen on the live feeds during the week. It started with the spelling bee. And again, Jessica, she's always just trying to, provoke. She's always prodding, trying to get a reaction. And we saw that once again tonight with her and Josh when, for no reason, she asked him if he knows how to spell drought for no reason.
Sure. What do I think about that?
Yeah.
It's bitchy. It's just that's just the only way to say it. Like, but the thing is, and Rob, obviously you know this, that in these type of social manipulation games, they're not like checking out and going to work and getting other things in their mind and watching some TV and reading a book and getting other things in their mind. Like, it is like, I hate Josh. And, you're going to take your stabs. I mean, that's just kind of part of it.
She's always stabbing away.
Always stabbing away. But, like, I mean, he's an easy guy to want to, like, pick on, too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was dumb on her part. I mean, that's pretty like, lowbrow type of slam. And look, oh, can you spell drought? But, what's she going to do?
Yeah, and it took him a while to end up working out and workshopping the comeback of like, oh, I got it. Why don't you spell evicted?
Yeah, it was like there's probably like a SNL like writers' room thing where they're like, oh, we got this. Okay, go in there and send this to her.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. And ultimately, it just was so much friction between them and with Josh. And ultimately, we got to see Josh come back to the pots and the pans. Spencer, are you a fan of that?
Yeah. I mean, I
like it.
I like it. I mean, push the buttons. It's when you do things like that, you're making as many enemies as your friends. You might be impressing the people that are working with you at that point in the game. But they're certainly put in the back of their mind that Josh is somebody that at some point I'm not going to want to deal with, Right. And so that sets him up for like double eviction coming up here soon. I mean, there's definitely some things that with that kind of behavior.
Yeah. Now, Spencer, there's been a lot of comparisons between what Josh is doing to what Evil Dick did in Big Brother 8, but wasn't Amanda also, did she get out the pots and pans when she was trying to rattle Alyssa?
No, she didn't get out the pots and pans. I don't remember. She had like a kazoo and she dressed up in a robe, which was bizarre. Yeah. I mean, it was like, I think that when Joey did her character with Alex on BB16, I think that was like, I don't know, like when you dress up as someone else, I think it's a little bit bizarre and weird. But no, Amanda, they even put on the edit, even though she gets a lot of shit to this day about, oh, you bullied Alyssa. Oh my God, the poor Alyssa club still meeting. But the thing is about that is she was trying to make Alyssa run to Andy for comfort so that she wouldn't put Andy on the block. Okay, that's what the whole thing is. There's strategy behind that. And it wasn't necessarily just to push buttons. Now, as a person that sat there and watched it, listened to it, there's a certain point where we're like, "Ew, this is a little uncomfortable," but who cares? It is Alyssa, So, like, I don't know. They're not the same thing. And as far as like him and Evil Dick, I mean, anytime somebody they're gonna be like, oh, they're trying to be like Evil Dick. You know, Josh is honestly, I think, taken it to a new level. I think the circus music is fantastic, and he's just annoying as hell. Really, I mean, he's just there to keep people. He kept Cody and Jessica uncomfortable. But Rob, this is my thing. Will that work going in weeks ahead? Okay, because right now for 51, 52, 53, whatever it is days, they've had a common enemy of Jody. Okay, it's really easy to get along with people when you all have a common enemy. Now that that's kind of fading, this Alex HOH is going to be, hopefully it will be interesting, but it's going to be the most interesting thing about it is it's almost like the game's got to reset now because we can stop focusing on these two, where our other targets are, people we need to take out. Let's start strategically plucking this chicken, pulling each feather off we need to so we can cook it and win this money. And that's kind of where they're at right now.
Yeah, I actually think that there could be some intrigue to be had this week. I know that Brent is besides himself on Twitter right now with Alex ultimately being the HOH, but I think there's a lot of interesting outs this week. Number one, between Cody potentially having the option to compete in the Temptation competition and then ultimately winning the veto. But then you have a lot of work that needs to go into having pawns this week. And I feel like that now with that side of the house in power, I do feel like that we could see some cracks between the one major Paul alliance. Taran, do you think that's a possibility for this week? Or am I just wearing rose-colored glasses or cat ears?
Well, I think Cody definitely needs to be safe if we want any real intrigue this week, because I think then we'll see a lot of jockeying for position in terms of who goes home between Mark and Elena, or maybe they take a shot at Matt or somebody like that. I think there's definitely a lot of room to play there. And if they do make a move against Mark, Elena, or Matt, then we could easily see some part of that group starting to wake up and be like, wait a minute, why am I being targeted right now? At the very least, we'll have some sort of blindside on the way for us. So there's still some hope, a little bit.
Spencer, another interesting thing that I think that we could see, especially with the double eviction looming 1 week from tonight, I think that Paul has been well served by his alliance with Alex in the house, where a lot of players don't necessarily know how tight they are. If Alex is really seen as Paul's stooge this week, where it looks like Alex is just carrying out Paul's wishes and Paul is really running her HOH, do you think that this could really entice more people to turn against Paul?
Sure. Like if you're saying if they start to realize that he's got strength and in his relationship with Alex, will it make people like kind of be aware of that?
Could that set him up for as a potential double eviction target coming up on Thursday?
Yeah. I mean, it could. I don't see him going home on the double. I think that spot's going to fall to this one of the outliers a little bit. I don't really see Paul having anything to worry about in this double eviction. You've got a situation that you brought up earlier about, like, if you've got Mark and Elena, who do you take out? Things like that. What I think the big concern is, I think that Elena's got a good idea for the game. I think that Mark is just an emotional wreck. I'm not really a Mark fan.
Emotional wreck-it Ralph.
Yes, he is an emotional wreck-it Ralph. And I'm not really a big fan of him. So and I'm getting back to your original question. But like, it's one of those situations, like, let's just say that is the nominees. Who do you keep? You keep Elena, who's got a mind for the game, or do you keep Mark, who will likely start having like a Lonely Hearts Club alliance with Cody? You know what I'm saying? Two people that could potentially win some power, win some vetoes, win some competitions, and make a change. And target Paul for that double eviction. I think that I really hope that Alex will. If this is one of those, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If they're working together, then whoever she targets is going to be somebody that's going to be good for both of them to get out. But I do hope that, talking about, like, since this is people that are going to be in the jury, going to be voting for winner, anybody sitting next to Paul right now in that final two, if it is Alex, she says, hey, we've been working together this whole time. It's going to be kind of a Cody Derek thing. You're going to say, well, you just did everything that Paul wanted you to do, so you didn't play your own game. It would be great if she could execute some moves of her own volition, some desires that she has, to see how the game will shape and walk down the next few weeks, maybe without so much of Paul's input.
Taran, I really thought that Alex did not come across well tonight. I think that, she was wearing the hat that said petty. She was talking a lot of smack to Jessica, even implying that she was going to steal Cody out from under her. I think that that Jessica did represent herself well, I thought, in the conversation with Julie. And I thought that Alex just came off looking poorly.
Yeah, I think especially to an audience that probably doesn't know the extent of their history, the comment about like "I'll take care of Cody" sounds very kind of out of the blue and really strange and weird. So I definitely feel like this was not a good look for Alex. And you know, I think she had a lot of goodwill when she was HOH last.
The first time, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this week. But if she is talking about like, I got to do what Paul wants and, you know, screw Jess, screw Cody, I could see her easily becoming one of the more hated people on this season.
Did you have that sweater on before?
Yeah. What, Rob, why are you being so weird about what I'm wearing?
I'm sorry. I get very distracted here. I'm sorry. I apologize, Spencer, for getting caught off guard there. You know, what's your take on Alex as a player? Because I thought that she was somebody who, as Taran mentioned, the first time she won HOH, I really thought that she was going to be one of the breakout personalities, but she's just sort of migrated up Paul's butt for this whole season, Spencer.
Yeah, but what's wrong with that? I mean, like Andy was up Amanda's ass. I hate to talk about my own season, but like when you've got players that have a good grip on all the information in the house, you've got players that are in kind of control of the actions, what's going on in the house. Why not be close with them? You know, I mean, it's not a bad gameplay to be close to people that other people are gravitating towards or are listening to, taking orders from, even. You know, so no, I do think she still has a chance to be kind of a standout personality in the house. I think she is. I think she's fun. I mean, you know, like, yeah, she kind of looking bad as far as like kind of her goodbye message today. But really, Jessica's not the jury. It doesn't matter. I thought it was hilarious. I'm sure there's plenty of like dumbasses out there that were like, "Yes, slay queen," you know, that kind of stuff. But you know, I think that she's funny. The cat ears annoy the shit out of me. I want those out of the way.
Why?
I want her to lose those. What's that?
Why, you hate cats?
Cats. I got a cat in there. I love the things. No, it just, I don't know. It's like the freaking whistle nut shirt. It's like, oh, give me a break. Like, I don't know, like that kind of stuff. Just, it's kind of like Judd in the Bear shirt.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
I was like, oh my God, you're most famous for making a shirt from Walmart popular. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's, to me, it just drives me crazy. It's just one of those things where it's like, it seems cheeseball. Like, I don't know, don't like it. But the cat ears bug me. So if she'll lose those, I'll like her a lot more.
Is this breaking news? Was Spencer the one that hid the cat ears all along?
Could be.
A big revelation. What about strategically in terms of wearing the whistle nut shirt? Do you like that in terms of sort of like the public declaration, I'm with whistle nut, or do you think it's something that could be problematic?
I don't like it. I mean, like, it's one of those things that like, you know, people wear the Bear shirt, people wear that. It's like, this person likes me enough to let me wear their shirt. We've got this relationship. It's just kind of like it's goofy. It's like a secret handshake in a way. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really mean a whole lot, but like there is something to it socially. If you're gonna let somebody wear your clothes, let them be seen in your clothes, especially like that's a career for Jason. It's not just some shirt he bought, you know. I mean, like, in a way, it represents the Whistle Nut brand when they're wearing it. And you know, I don't know. I don't like it, but it's just because I'm a curmudgeon old bastard. So there's nothing wrong with it, though.
Going back to Jess, I thought that she had a pretty iconic eviction speech before she went out of the house. Let me play this, and then I want to get your take on if there could be any potential fallout from this. This is Jessica.
And house guests, it took 15 of you and half of the season to get one of 2 targets out of the house. So I wish I could say I'm impressed, but I'm not. And Cody and I have never been the biggest targets here. It's not Forrest Gump over there. It's actually Mr. Friendship. And if you guys leave him in the house any longer than you already have, then you're bigger idiots than I thought you were.
Oh!
Bring me home, Julie.
Well, alrighty then.
Alrighty then. A little Ace Ventura shout out from Julie. Okay. So Spencer, does a shot across the bow like that of that Paul is going to win the game if you let him, do you think that has any effect on the house?
Yeah, I do. Like right now, like I said, they're still in that mindset of like, ooh, look what we did, patting themselves on the back, like we're breaking up the showmance. They're still kind of in that mode, but like that's going to hang with them. And Paul is aligned with the people that I feel like are the biggest gamers in the house. So they're going to take the information differently because they're going to say, yeah, he's doing good, but actually it's us too. But yeah, I mean, it sunk in. Like there's people that are going to go to bed and not thinking about it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, it was effective. I mean, will it get anything done next week or the week after that? I mean, who knows? Probably not. But it's there in their head,
Taran, I think that was an effective, pointed attack, and maybe the most direct one we've seen go against Paul this season, where we saw the attacks from Dominique of Paul is a snake, he slithers around the house, and Paul was able to turn it around and say, okay, I guess you're right. I guess I am a snake. I'm going to dress up like a snake. We saw then last week on the Thursday night show where Cody talked about everybody here they're all your dogs. And then Paul was like, okay, I guess everybody is my dogs. Okay, dogs, why don't you bark at everybody? Because you're all my dogs. But here, I don't know how he necessarily turns this around to like, okay, I guess I'm going to win the game. I guess I'll just go ahead and spend my $500,000 everywhere. And I guess I'll just go and be the winner of Big Brother 19. And then you guys all lost. I guess that's what's going to happen, Jess.
Walk around with confetti in his pockets, just like, oh, I'm the winner.
I'm the winner.
Oh.
I just won the game. I'm so not pissed.
Yeah, it is something that it's going to be hard for him to turn around, but it's the same message that they've been saying all along, and it wasn't really specific enough. I think that a lot of people are aware of the fact that Paul is kind of telling people what to do, and they're okay with it. The thing that needs to be pointed out to them is, hey, guess what? Paul has this 4 and this 3 and this 3, and you can't all be in the group that Paul plans on taking to the end. And if he's bossing everyone around, you need to be careful about what side you're on. But they didn't really say that. And Cody even has that information because Kevin came to him and told him about this group of 4. And, I don't know why she wouldn't call that out in public, but, at least it was something.
Yeah. Now, also, Jessica mentioned Forrest Gump in that clip, Spencer. Who's Forrest Gump? Is that Josh?
I believe that's who she was referring to, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Mama always said life is like a meatball.
Yeah, and like we got a new one, linguine today on the.
Yeah, what's
thing.
linguine? Linguine,
I don't know.
cannoli. Stop.
He's getting off brand. He's getting off brand.
He's too far.
Life is like an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
Never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
mostly meatballs.
Yeah,
mostly meatballs.
Mostly meatballs. Yeah, not good. In terms of Cody moving forward, Spencer, do you see any possibility for him?
No, I don't. I don't know if there's a road to the final 2 for him. Really, I don't think he's going to get in that magic, so hated spot that they take him to the end. I think that he'll be somebody will feel really good about getting out, almost like a throwaway HOH. Like if he's not good enough at the game. He's not good at making friends. He's not good at like if he gets power, he would blow it. I mean, like he's just really not that good at the game. So I even tweeted tonight that I didn't even win HOH. I'd like him for him to have a few weeks without any kind of power to try to figure this game out and actually play. It's going to start with some deals. There was some talk about maybe making Kevin tried to make kind of like the Aaron deal with Helen and Alyssa, about we control your HOH if you get one, but we'll keep you, things like that. There is an idea of bringing him under somebody's wing, but it's just like he said, he's not going to make any deal. That deal was trash as soon as he made it with Kevin. But that's dumb. Like really, he should say, sometimes you got to kiss the ring. You got to kiss the ass. Whoever's in charge, who's got power, who's getting through the game in a strategic manner, not just sleeping through it, and try to kind of wiggle your way into going from being an important number. Because as long as you've got a vote, you're important to a certain extent. And and he could have done fine. Pairing with that group of 4 would have been, I think, in a lot of ways, could have been a really good move for him. At least acting like he was, like really kind of drawing it out, making them believe it. Because I don't think Mark and Elena, even Matt and Raven. I mean, like you really kind of shrink the amount of people that would put you on the block if you do that. But he's not smart enough to do it.
Yeah, Taran, Cody is such an interesting guy because most people in this situation would attempt to go under the radar, would attempt to sort of curry favor with the people in power and act like, hey, I'm no big threat. Don't worry about me. But that's just not Cody's MO. Is there any way that counterintuitive strategy is effective?
It can be. But I think you have to play to your type, and like Cody is so good at competitions that it's just like, well, we could just leave him in because he doesn't care about the game anymore. He only cares about Jess, but he's going to win a bunch of comps and then he's going to target us. So we have to get him out. Like our hands are tied, even if they don't want to get him out, which a lot of them don't. A lot of them are like, we're fine with Cody. Like we know where he stands. We'd rather get out Mark or Elena. But they have to get him out because he's going to win an HOH and target them one week or another.
Okay. I want to get into your questions here in just a moment. Hashtag RHAP. In terms of Cody now as a challenge threat, do you think that he has a good chance to avoid the block this week, Spencer?
There's always the temptation competition. So yeah, sure. I think he's got as good a chance as anybody. I mean, he is a competitor, just like Taran said. He's a guy that can win competitions. But yeah, I think there's a good chance he'll stay off the block.
Now, Taran, do you feel like that will be part of a back door for Cody? Do you think that is the modus operandi for Paul and his minions?
Yeah, if I'm going to plot out the week here, what I assume is going to happen is Alex will put up Mark and Elena. Someone will go into the temptation competition meant to throw it so that they'll take that third spot on the block. And then anybody that wins the veto will then use it. And Cody will go up as the backdoor.
Okay. So we'll see how that plays out. I thought there was some interesting speeches as well, in addition from Jessica. I thought Elena throwing some shade at Dominique, bringing back the basketball speech, Spencer. What was that about?
I thought it was really funny. I think it was kind of clever of Elena to do that. I mean, Dominique gave one of the dumbest, weirdest, craziest speeches I've ever heard. So I thought it was funny that she did that.
This was Dominique's speech.
It's never easy to witness a false fact. It's never easy to dribble the ball back. So I dribble to scribble through all of that. Dunking hope against hope, I call this very moment.
Remember Dominique?
Yeah.
Remember when everybody said she was playing the best game in the house, Taran?
Yeah, I remember saying that.
Yeah. And then and amazingly, Raven up on the block this week, and very important. Raven raising awareness of the gastroparesis. It is Gastroparesis Awareness Month, which we will be talking about all month long here on the podcast, Taran.
Yeah, well, she thanked everyone for making her feel normal, and I think that when she gets out of the house, she'll really appreciate how many people are treating her like a normal person that doesn't have an illness.
Yeah. I forgot to wear my brown ribbon for Gastroparesis Awareness Month.
Yeah. All month long. All month long. Okay. Let's get to some of your questions here tonight. And why don't we start off with Byron, who wants to ask, what will Paul do with his HOH this week? That's a good question. So congratulations to Paul on his third HOH of the season. Well done, Paul. Okay. Steven wants to ask, what is so amazing about David? It seems like Danya is doing all of the heavy lifting. Spencer, what did you think about this HOH challenge? Like, sort of a bizarre competition. We brought in David and Danya, and it was like, okay, well, what is this about? And so David hangs up curtains and Danya changes outfits. Where did they get these people from? Who saw this and scouted this and says, you know what, this would be a great HOH competition?
This must have been like Allison Grodner's must have had like her husband's or like somebody in her family's like her cousin David. Just get out of rehab. He really needs some help. He needs a boost to get back on his feet. let's bring him in. What I think is funny about this is, can you imagine, like, when they're all sitting around a production meeting and they're like, what are we going to do for this HOH competition? And it's like, I got an idea. We'll bring in these 2 people. We can find them. There's bound to be around here somewhere. I saw this great act on a cruise one time. And it's like, she keeps changing all these dresses, and they've got to remember if there's diamonds and question marks. It could be brilliant. It'll be one of the greatest comps ever. Like, I hope that David and Danya become, like, a part of, like Big Brother from now on. That, like, that's going to be the David and Danya HOH every year.
Well, you know what happened is that they had the idea for the magic people, and then they had to scour the magic scene for a duo that had an alliteration in the title, because we all know that they need the alliteration every week.
Yeah. Chris Hickey in the chat is saying that David and Danya were America's Got Talent season 1 finalists. So I guess their agent booked them a big gig on Big Brother 19 in the HOH competition.
Man, it's it must have been like a hookup that they got from Nick Uhas from his stint on American because doing science experiments is a talent now, by the way. Does anybody know that?
From the moving company to chief scientist.
Yeah. Like, I like Nick. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like trash him or anything like that. But like the old balloon with gas,
you better not use scrub.
It's like, oh, we need some more experiments. We need some more experiments, and not freeze the melons either, something like that.
Yeah. Well, what I like about Nick is that he always does the same experiments. So he really is nailing these experiments down. He's got well, how does Nick have so many access to different chemicals, Spencer? Did he talk about that in the house?
No, he like, the only thing I knew about him in the house is that he was a rollerblader. He had no interest at all in Gina Marie, and he had the game on lock. So, I mean, I don't get it. Like, he never mentioned one thing about science in the house at all. Now he's, Mr. Wizard.
Yeah, boy, he seems to have access to like a Gus Fring level of all these different chemicals. I don't really know how this is working out, but that's all besides the point. Taran, I remember, I think, was it Big Brother 17 that they had a competition where like break dancers came in and they had to answer questions about that. So I feel like that Big Brother does from time to time do these weird competitions where watch something and then we'll ask you questions about what you just saw.
Yeah, it's not an uncommon thing. I think it's just an uncommon way of going about the competition. We've seen a lot of outside people come into the house this season. I think almost every week we've had at least 1 or 2 people from the outside come in. So I think they're going for a theme or something. Who knows?
Spencer, why not have Nick Uhas come in and do some experiments where he could freeze a bowling ball? What color was the bowling ball? Then take a balloon.
Was the balloon red or blue that Nick held and made his voice deep? Like, I don't know. Like, it's perfectly, missed opportunity here, because I think he's got some free time since America's Got Talent didn't work out.
And also a missed opportunity to not then go directly to Cody's reaction of not being impressed with any of the magic tricks. I think that he would be perfect. He might be an ideal judge for America's Got Talent moving forward.
Hey, he could. He's he spotted some serious talent in the house.
Jessica.
He could also be like an advisor, like during their training montages where it's just like a ghost version of Cody, like, you can do this.
Yeah.
And then when they actually perform, he's just blank face.
We'll never get a better quote than "Don't be a beta." I say that all the time now.
Don't be a beta.
Don't be a beta.
Don't be a beta, Rob. Come on.
Yeah. No, I can't help it. All right. Stephanie says, there's no way all of Jessica's stuff fit in that bag. Spencer, so is there, explain this stuff. Is there like a second suitcase that the house guests have, or is there really all their stuff is in their duffel bag?
Honestly, I think it really kind of, like, they give girls more clothes than guys, I think, just because
is this pulling back the
sexy clothes
much, like David and Ganya?
Maybe a little bit. Like, I remember Alyssa had said that it was like $180 over the weight limit fee on her bag to travel there. Okay. And I was like, Jesus, what do you own? I was like, I could have put everything I own, on that scale, and it would have been $180. So, like, yeah, I think they give girls more clothes. I had a fairly big bag. They give you rules, like, you have to, like, literally fold them. You can't roll clothes up to try to fit more in there. But I mean, I'm sure everything's changed.
You can't roll your clothes up.
You can't roll your clothes. I was like, I didn't even think about that, but okay,
Yeah. Is that how David and Danya do it, Taran? She's rolled all the clothes up?
Yeah, you just roll it down. I would know.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I know secrets. That's all. Yeah.
And Danya, on live TV, risking a potential wardrobe malfunction. Very brave job by Danya and the CBS Spencers.
Well, should we really be praising them when like the house guests risk that almost every day on the live feeds? They're the true champions.
Okay. Jay Steckley says, so we established that Josh can spell 2 words. Should Jess have asked if he knew any song besides the circus theme? Spencer, I thought that was a pretty low class for Spencer to go into the circus theme after Jessica's eviction. I'm glad he stopped after just a couple of bars.
Yes, I think he was probably like, somebody gave him the eye or like shushed him a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's a little low class, but whatever. He's trying to establish himself as a character so he can come back and play BB-20. So,
yeah,
it's all about being memorable. Is
it working?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, like he's going to be remembered good or bad. I don't know that yet. There's still a lot of game left, but I mean, he is a big personality.
Yeah,
I mean, for real.
Yeah.
We just talking about the meatball. He's got his catchphrase down. I mean, he's doing all that stuff. So
yeah, has Josh locked up Zach Rance's spot yet?
I think so. I really do. I feel like people are upset about this right now, but honestly, in a couple of years, they're gonna be like, remember Josh and how like awful he was to Jess? Like he even sung this on her, like she was walking out the door. They're gonna be like, oh, it's so iconic. That's just how the Big Brother fan base rolls.
Does he give y'all like a Howie vibe? He's kind of like a meaner Howie.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, I mean, is it really that much meaner? I mean, Howie was.
Yeah, we had April Lewis on a couple of weeks ago, Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, love Busto. Yeah, like Howie's the kind of person, like when I met him in real life, like the first thing he came up to me, like, I mean, I saw him from like across this room, and he was like, oh, moving about, the moving company. Like he gets like one thing in his head, and like that's what he wants to tell you about. Like you'd see McCray, like, oh, McCray, all love you. Like he's kind of like it's really kind of like he's like a child. It's really funny. So I love Howie, but like he's got a personality that can see a lot of people not liking it. And I think Josh is a lot the same way. I don't think Josh can help it. I think that's just the way he is. I think that he's got this really obnoxious but sensitive personality. It's kind of weird how he can totally dish it out, but he can't take it. Like the way he cries when like he gets, his weight is mentioned, things like that. So I don't know. Josh is a very interesting character.
No, I really don't care about that about him, Spencer. I'm glad you brought that up. That he is such a front runner of when, he's on the offensive. Oh, he's the toughest guy in the room, but he is so weak. As soon as anybody says anything to him, he just like crumbles like a shrinking violet.
Yeah. Yeah,
terrible. Forrest Gump is. I mean, that Forrest Gump. He went out there and he went to Vietnam and he served his country. And then when Lieutenant Dan ended up being left for dead, he carried him back. He never gave up Forrest Gump.
Spoilers.
Dude, yeah. Oh my God. Like really? Like I'm going to spoil it too. Like I think Forrest only cried when he's talked about his son he had when after Ginny died of AIDS. Like we're not even anywhere near that, and Josh is at the waterworks. So
he doesn't even have a showmance. Yeah. John wants to know: will Cody be the first house guest to quit the jury? No, he's not going to quit. I did think for a second that he was going to carry Jessica across the threshold and right out of the house. But once he dropped her off at the door, no, he's not going to quit.
Yeah. Like I've always wondered about that. Like I teased somebody that like I was going to run out and grab them and pull them back in for a second, something like that. But it's almost like I think it's like a Field of Dreams. Like once you step over, like you can't come back. So I think that if you run out of the house, you're just out. I think they don't let you come back. So Cody, you can feel when Julie told him that they're on jury, you could just read it all over like Cody's like face. He was like, Jessica's out, not me, and oh my God, I won't be able to see her until September. He just had that little. You could just see it, the panic flash over his face.
Yeah. Now that being said, Yeah, could he walk out of the jury house? Maybe that's what John is asking. Taran,
No.
is that a possibility? Could he walk away from the jury house?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he certainly won't want to be there, but I think he'll be there every week, giving them content about how he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah,
Sure.
Taran. Oh, God.
Oh, I was going to say that, like, the jury, they played a little bit different. Like, they're pretty tight-lipped about some things, but like, and I wasn't in the jury, just for about 20 minutes. But from talking to other people, I know that, like, wanting to leave jury is a fairly common thing. And they'll tell you things like, no, you want to stay. You've got a lot of fans out there. Like, people really like you, things like that. So I can see them, I can see him keeping him. I mean, like, I don't think he's not. He doesn't really come across as a quitter to me. I mean, this dude's been to, like, war. Do you think that, like, being around annoying ass Josh is going to make him, he's like, I've shot the Taliban and I'm going to leave because this guy's, annoying. I don't really see that happening.
Yeah. No, but
you don't have, like, a lot of Taliban viewers, do you? I'm sorry if I'm.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They hate our freedom of watching Big Brother. But in terms of Cody, I feel like that he just might think, because his whole attitude is like, this is stupid, this isn't serious, this isn't real life, I'm above this. That's why I could see him like what do I need this? Why do I need to vote on who's going to win the game in terms of, like, I just want to be with Jessica. I could see him leaving under those circumstances potentially. But Taran, we talked about last night the juiciest of Big Brother rumors about that could Jessica potentially be expecting Cody Jr. Did we ever get any? Are we? Is that? Is the jury still out?
The jury is still out, and now we may never know.
Well, I think we will know. I think that.
Well, theoretically.
Yeah. I mean that. Look, I guess there's a few different outcomes. But if potentially, what a finale night that would be, Spencer. If in true Forrest Gump fashion, then we find out that Jessica is indeed pregnant with a child.
That would be awesome. I mean, that would absolutely, if she was like, hey, here's my what do they call it? The baby gel scan. What's it called?
Sonogram.
The sonogram photo of our little bean. It's so cute. I think,
And Cody was, can I ask one question? Is he an alpha? Just tell me. Just tell me right now. What did they say? Is he an alpha or a beta? That's all I need to know.
What if it's like, so Paul just won the season. He walks out to confetti. He's like, yes, I'm the winner. And then we go, whoa, wait. There was actually a member of the house that was not voted out. Jessica is pregnant with an unborn child. That person is still in the game. This game is still on. There's still a vote to be had.
I don't know if that's in the rules. I don't know if, like, an embryo can actually win Big Brother. I don't know.
There's nothing in the rule book that says an embryo can't win Big Brother. I bet that's true.
Where is zygote? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay, we're I don't know.
Okay. All right. We'll see if we can get Christy from Big Brother OTT to check the rule book on that and see if a fetus could win Big Brother. Amy wants to ask us, so there isn't a jury buyback because they would all talk and figure out Paul, right? Is that going to be the issue? Because, I mean, that normally, are they sequestered, or that how are they normally doing that, Taran?
Normally they are in the jury house together. They're told not to speak, as far as I'm aware. But they do often speak somewhat, but not like a whole lot, I guess. Like they try to keep them apart, but obviously they do get to talking. But it's never really impacted the game a whole lot up to this point. So
not the US version, right?
Yeah,
now,
not the US version.
Spencer, though, I do feel like that this is a point in production's favor, because I feel like that if they did have the option to let there be a jury buyback potentially, and in this scenario where Paul goes out in the double eviction, they had the opportunity to start up the buyback and get a chance at least for Paul to go back into the house and at least string people along, that there was this possibility Paul could go back. They have so much invested in this Cody versus Paul storyline. Cody could have come back a third time. So I think that they are really going out on a limb by calling it off and saying that there will not be a buyback for the jury this season.
Yeah, I mean, what are you asking? You asking that it was good on production for doing that?
Well, I think that a lot of people point fingers like, oh, the show's fixed, the show is rigged. They're just gonna they'll just bring Paul back. And I feel like that with the first buyback in the season, I did feel like that they were sort of like hedging their bets where it was just Cameron and Jillian in the jury, and then they didn't announce the buyback until it was going to be Cody who ended up going out of the house. So I feel like that they took an option away from themselves potentially.
No, yeah, they tied their own hands a little bit and not allowing that to be a possibility, especially since like they have this Friday episode coming up, what's that going to be, like a look back at the first half of the season?
Yeah.
Clips you didn't see. I mean, like that's going to be awful. Like they like doing these Friday episodes, so like they could have done one, and I'm kind of glad they didn't. Yeah, I agree with you there. That like you said, tying their own hands to where they can't just like all of a sudden have one now, since they already said that they won't. I think it's good. A little play out. I think it keeps them honest.
Yeah. All right, let's do a few more questions. Reagan wants to know, Spencer, as a noted showman's foe, might there be value in keeping Maven or even Marlena in the game as targets? Do you feel like that is a power move to keep the showmances around?
I mean, like looking at the layout right now is like, yeah, like Taran said earlier that like there's a good chance that Cody's going to get back door, and I could see that happening if he doesn't win the temptation thing. Even though like I don't see a lot of I mean, there's some value in getting him out, I guess. But anyway, to go after these showmances, I mean, dude, I mean they're duds. I think they're total duds, and I mean. I don't know. Like if it was like a good showmance, like a Brinchel or even like a McCranda situation, I mean, like yeah, like split them up, get them apart, that kind of thing. But I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of love for these two showmances. So
yeah,
I think like you're giving them a little bit too much respect to say try to bust them up in a way, if that makes sense.
Well, Maven is not even on the show, really. I mean, it'd be almost like a lot to explain that Matt and Raven are a couple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Julie would have to like reference this eviction speech. The poor sick girl with gastroparesis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know, man. I think that Raven drives me crazy. I just think that she was. I've got her picked in one of my drafts just because she's from Arkansas. She's like 45 minutes away from me here, and which is great in case I have a ghost that needs busting, or you know, something.
You know, I didn't get to talk on the Sunday night show that it was a thing in the preseason of Raven is a paranormal investigator, and then it was sort of not mentioned, and then she brought it up on Sunday night. That makes so much more sense to me now, Spencer. That Raven is involved in like exorcism and any sort of like mumbo jumbo of like coming into people's houses. Like, I feel a disturbance here in this house. Thank goodness you called me. Okay, let me tell you about the packages to your house of these ghosts.
Like she's totally like, okay, like I said, she lives about 45 minutes away from me. And I hope to meet her one day, and I'll act like I never said this. But she's one of those kind of people that's like, I have prophetic dreams, and I know my mama does, and my grandmommy does, and you know we've been having these prophecies for you. Just like she's like, shut up, you're just a crazy lunatic person, you know. And like in her diary rooms, does she not seem drugged? Like she only give like one DR clip an episode, maybe like dedicated her. She's like, I don't know. She's like, oh my God. She drives me crazy. I can't stand her.
I felt the ghost. I felt one.
Yeah. Did y'all see that?
Spencer, I have some bad news. I know you just paid off this house, but I can sense that there are demons in here. You need to be giving me that mortgage money every month to come in here and clean this house.
Lord, you take PayPal? Jesus.
Also, this is Ghost Awareness Month. I don't know if you know. gotta tell you.
Thank you, everyone, for treating me like I'm a normal person that doesn't communicate with ghosts.
I'll wear. Don't forget to wear your white ribbon next month. That is Ghost Awareness Month. I'll come in here and I'll clean this whole house. Okay. Arbra wants to know, do you think there's a possibility of an exterminator type of line? Did somebody say ghost exterminators? Because I can do that for you, Spencer.
I got your poltergeists, your apparitions, your ghouls.
I see a pasty white figure hanging out around. Oh no, that was just Andy. I'm sorry. That's Andy. So it says yes or no. Exterminator's figure coming in, Spencer.
We kind of already addressed this, so I'm going to ask him to reference back at minute 15:32 in the podcast, and I stand by my earlier statement.
All right. Johnny D wants to, did Kevin make a big mistake trying to approach Cody before Jess left the game? Taran, do you think that there's going to be some blowback on Kevin in terms of that we saw that Paul and Alex and Whistlenut were anti-Kevin trying to make this move, but were there any ramifications from this?
Yeah, it didn't really go well. As they sort of showed in the episode, most people weren't very receptive to it, and it ultimately gave Cody information about who Kevin sees as his group that he ultimately shares with Mark and Elena, saying, "Hey, Mark and Elena, Kevin came up to me and said, if you work with me, Alex, Jason, and Paul to get out Mark and Elena, then we'll keep you around." So this was really not a great look for Kevin. Luckily, this whole fight kind of stopped him in his tracks in terms of going through with the deal, but some of the damage has already been done.
Okay. Let's do a couple more. Chris Hickey, why hasn't BB ever considered doing a Survivor Coconut Challenge to reveal the pecking order? It could shake up the house. Spencer, is that a good idea?
The what?
In Survivor, they often have a challenge that will reveal the pecking order in some way where the alliance has to, which person do you want to eliminate next? I mean, they do that in some of the vetoes. I think you do get that. And certainly the knockout challenge.
The knockout challenge, yeah, they have that, and that's great. I would like to have that soon. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so all can get a better sense of who's knocking who out in what order.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a crucial part of Big Brother. It's such a you hold on to your cards, you clutch them so closely to your chest, and in a thing like that, you can't help it. You've got to show your cards a little bit, and so I hope they have one soon.
Okay. This is from Lori. If Cody is safe tonight or a non-entity to the other house guests, do you think that this week is a good time to evict Christmas? Going back to that Forrest Gump analogy, I do think that Christmas should be our Lieutenant Dan.
I've actually got another analogy for Christmas that I've been thinking about here. What about more like a verbal Kent from The Usual Suspects? Spoiler alert coming up. But like, what if at the end of it? What if at the end of it, like she takes out Paul, like Keaton, blah 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 blah, and like her foot's like not really broken, and she's like all gets off of her walker and everything. I think that would be fantastic, because I do think, like Taran, and I'd like for you to help me fill this in. Is you talking about an exterminators type of alliance? Is Christmas the one that's on the outs enough to pull the outside people in and eliminate some big players? Because I don't know if she's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
The first thing I want to say is that the best part about your theory here with Christmas being verbal Kent would be that it would really shut Brent up about, Christmas shouldn't be in the game anymore because she was out of the house and she's injured. But in terms of Christmas's ability to pull that off, I do feel like she's probably the person, maybe other than Mark right now, that really sees what Paul is doing. The problem right now is that she doesn't care, which is kind of where Andy was throughout the season with Amanda, where like obviously he saw what she was doing, but he was like, well, it's fine. I'm going to bide my time. I'm going to wait until the right moment. I could see that happening. The problem is that she doesn't really have, I think, the relationships to pull off a coup like that. She really, she gets really agitated at people, and her social game is just all over the place. She doesn't really have any allies other than Josh, so it's kind of hard to picture her being successful unless she wins something and pulls off some kind of like crazy move.
Okay. Riley says, if will Alex finally make us proud and start playing for herself this week, or is this fan fiction? Definitely fan fiction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no way Alex is going to go and start to pull something off beyond Paul's wishes. Jenna McDaniels, is there a chance Paul goes out in the double eviction? That would be the time to take a shot at him. Taran, can you give us the scenario where Paul goes out in the double eviction? So if somehow Cody wins the veto, then what? Cody wins HOH?
I could see Cody winning HOH, Mark winning HOH, and then.
But do they have the votes to knock him out at that point?
And here's the thing, especially if Alex uses Mark as a pawn this week, which is possible, then he could be mad at Alex. There could be some bad blood. He could end up putting Alex and Paul up on the block, which is perhaps the one scenario where Paul doesn't have the votes to stay. And just like that, we could see Paul gone and an entirely new game.
Oh, piss.
Yeah.
Okay, Spencer, what is that? A 1 in a million shot?
1 in a million for that to happen?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that it's 1 in a million for Cody to win a speed type competition, which would be the double eviction HOH.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if if the tinfoil hats come out, if we have some sort of like machine gun assembly type veto. Once again, we'll see if it's something that's really in his wheelhouse. Jill says, did Mark put in enough work with Alex to get past this week to not be a target? Taran, what do you think about Mark?
I mean, they certainly worked on Mark and he worked on Alex, and he has a good relationship with Jason. So I don't see Alex wanting to target Mark. Alex and Jason in particular want to target Elena over Mark. So even if Cody is safe, I could easily see them pushing for Elena. The problem is that Paul will absolutely be pushing for Mark at that point. So it'll be a bit of a battle on that front.
Okay. All right. Lauren says, do you think that the noises they've been playing all week will be for the safety competition? Taran, can you talk about the noises?
Yeah, so they've been playing.
Hey, y'all, this house is haunted. I'm telling you. I'm hearing noises.
Did it just get cold in here to anybody else?
These noises are setting me off. It's not fair.
I've got Square on my phone. I could take care of this problem for you.
Yeah, they've been playing random noise, like jackhammer noises, babies crying, dogs barking.
That wasn't Cody and Jess?
Well, you know. It could have been the combination of Cody, Jess, Matt, Raven, Elena, Mark. Could have been any one of them. So they've been playing these all week long. We thought it was going to be for the HOH competition, and then instead it was a magic show. So who knows?
Do we think that was some sort of a warm up for David and Danya? Was that like sort of like their entrance music? Was that them practicing?
Yeah, I guess so. That was they were doing the rehearsals and they were just making some noises. I guess it's just a byproduct of changing your clothes. Not that I'd know.
Yeah, that was the red herring. You know, like a very Hitchcockian of the producers to like make them think that these noises were important, and then David and Danya.
Yeah, and they'd been studying them all week long, like very intently, like studying these noises, and then these two magicians come out.
Yeah. Nikki, can we find a scenario where someone other than Elena, Mark, or Cody goes home this week? I mean, anything can happen. Expect the unexpected. Spencer, is that a possibility?
That someone else will go home besides those three? I mean, I think the smart money is on one of those three.
Yeah, but is there a scenario where one of them doesn't go home?
Scenario, let's see. No, there's not.
Taran, agree or disagree?
I think for the most part, I would agree. I do think there's a very small chance that we could see Matt go home this week. There's been a lot of chatter about Matt and Raven and how people aren't very happy with them. And maybe we should put Matt up on the chopping block. We could see, theoretically, like, Cody wins safety, Mark wins veto and pulls Elena off, or vice versa, or one of them wins veto and then there's two people on the block, and then they're like, well, we can keep Elena another week or Mark another week. We should take a shot at Matt while we have the chance. It's theoretically possible, but not particularly likely.
Just one last thing before we wrap up, that in the beginning of the game, Alex and Cody had this close relationship. Alex talked about how with Jessica out of the picture, that there would be an opportunity. Not that Alex and Cody are going to showmance, but is there a possibility that Cody ends up sort of having a rekindled alliance with Alex and she may want to keep him in the house? Taran, is that a possibility at all?
Jessica forbade it. So
well, was he not going to work with her? It's like, I'm sorry, you have to put me on the block. My girlfriend said I'm not allowed to talk to you.
Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what happened.
You don't know how like awesome it would be if he showmanced Alex too.
Oh well, and then and Jessica was pregnant with his baby on the outside.
That would be incredible. Like
talk about iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Previously on Big Brother, Cody conceived a baby with Jessica, who got voted out of the house. And then the Marine decided to...
Yeah.
I think that's the point in which Big Brother says, you know what? Screw the game stuff. We need to just run with this.
And then yada, yada, yada. Paul, but Jessica is now 3 months pregnant. All right. Let's talk about what's coming up here on Rob as a Podcast. So You Think You Can Dance Season 14, Episode 8 recap is up on the RHAP ups. Check out what's going on there. Nick Yadanza, he's got Survivor Australia exit interviews as well. Very excited about that. The exit interviews from everything from this week on Australian Survivor. And then I'm going to be with Taran and maybe even Alex Kidwell tomorrow morning when we update the overnight feed. So be on the lookout for that Friday morning, and we'll be doing that at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And then Sunday night, I will be back live after Game of Thrones for the West Coast version of the Big Brother Sunday night recap. Join us at midnight or 12:15 Eastern, 9:15 Pacific. And of course, Taran, you will have some live feed updates over the weekend as well.
Yes, we will be live noon Eastern over the weekend to update you on the live feeds. It'll be a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing those. We have a great crowd that comes in and chats with us on those Facebook lives. So it's very, very fun.
You look a little Mr. Robot right now.
I was thinking Mr. Robot, dude. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I don't know why you're pointing it out now. All of a sudden, it's the end of the podcast, Rob. Why didn't you say something?
You were wearing
earlier?
that the whole time, that hood?
Yeah. What?
So weird.
Yeah, Rob, I don't know what's wrong with like your vision. Do you need to get your eyes checked? I'm not.
I don't know. I'll check that out. All right.
Okay.
Well done, Spencer. Anything else you want to mention about BB19 or anything else?
No, nothing else. Nothing. I think we've talked all my opinions of BB19, and if that's it, man. I got nothing going on. Nothing exciting to plug. Nothing. Hey, if you'd like to donate to my Heart's Reality, and I don't have that even going on. I'm pretty much just normal dude on the streets. So nothing exciting.
Okay. What about follow Spencer on Snapchat?
No, you don't. I don't snap that much, but you can follow me on Snapchat. You can follow me on Twitter at Spencer B. Clawson for all my
hot takes.
Just bizarre musings. Yeah, sure.
Bizarre musings. Sure.
Yeah.
And Spencer, and again, congratulations on the paid off house. I was only joking about the ghosts. I hope that you do not require any of Raven's services to come in after the fact.
I don't want any of Raven's mini services. Thank you very much.
I was told that when Josh referred to Jessica as Linguini, it's because in Josh speak, it turns out that a meatball is a boy and Linguini is a girl.
Oh,
maybe.
Okay.
Oh, no. I talked about I think my house could be haunted. My microphone just is full.
Oh my
Raven's
God.
ghosts are coming for you.
Rob, I'm coming. You brought this on yourself, you stupid idiot.
Yes.
All right. All right. We have to go now. Rob, I'm telling you, this is all your fault. They're here. Okay. All right, everybody. Halting X Rise. This podcast time. All right. Great job, Taran. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks so much, Scott St. Pierre behind the scenes. Bye.